Forget the $10,000 flight schools and federal medical exams. What if I told you that you could legally pilot a heavy-duty, meticulously engineered flying machine with absolutely zero license, no registration, and no insurance, thanks to FAA Part 103? True aerial freedom is real. Imagine a gravity-defying contraption parked in your backyard, ready to launch. Stick around until the end. Because the number one aircraft on this list is a shocking, prehistoric mechanical beast that defies all laws of physics. Hit subscribe and ring that bell before we take off. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the Airtime Explorer 103. A brilliant piece of American engineering proving that flying does not require a millionaire's budget, built specifically to slide perfectly under the 254-pound limit. It relies on a buzzing two-stroke engine, pushing out a modest 40 horsepower. In the comments, purists constantly debate between screaming two-stroke versus heavier four-stroke engines. However, this two-stroke fires up with a crackling chainsaw sound, instantly letting you know this machine means business before you even leave the runway. Visually, the Explorer 103 is the absolute definition of an aerial dune buggy. It features a rugged, exposed tubular aluminum chassis wrapped in high-tension Dacron fabric wings. This open-air design is wildly popular among older enthusiasts because it completely eliminates the claustrophobia of a standard enclosed cockpit. Getting in requires zero gymnastics. You just step into it like a golf cart. You can comfortably cruise at 40 miles per hour over rural farmland, safely enjoying the tricycle landing gear that makes ground handling incredibly stable for older pilots. Would you believe that the entire airframe can be broken down and folded up in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee? This level of sheer convenience makes it the ultimate garage-stored toy, avoiding expensive airport hangar fees entirely while still offering the thrill of open-air flight. It provides a gentle introduction to ultralights, offering forgiving handling and incredible safety margins for beginners. But if this open-air dune buggy feels a little too exposed, wait until you see the beautifully crafted wooden glider stepping up next. Stepping into the number 9 spot is the Aviation MG-12, an absolute masterstroke of Italian aviation design, designed as a powered motor glider. It utilizes an incredibly low-powered Viterazzi engine, putting out a mere 25 horsepower because it weighs around 210 pounds empty. It comfortably clears the strict regulations required for license-free operation, while dodging the heavy crosswind limitations that ground other ultralights. When the engine is on, it hums like a heavy-duty fan, but the real magic happens when you kill the throttle entirely mid-flight. Visually, the Zigolo looks like a beautiful skeletal relic from the golden dawn of aviation, built entirely with a rigid framework draped in translucent aeronautical fabric. The pilot sits in a suspended harness configuration, steering with a classic center stick, while completely surrounded by the sky. This is not an aircraft built for speed, it is an aerial sailboat. Now it is used by purists to ride thermal updrafts in absolute breathtaking silence. It offers a deeply meditative flying experience, allowing you to soar over forests, hearing only the gentle whistling wind. The most charming aspect of the Zigolo MG-12 is its heavy emphasis on the DIY garage builder culture. It is famously sold as a kit, designed to be assembled in a standard single-car garage using basic hand tools. This makes you feel like a true aviation pioneer right in your own backyard. Clearly, it proves that anyone can literally build their wings from scratch, but if you think assembling an aircraft from an aluminum kit is impressive, the next machine takes garage craftsmanship to a historic level. At number 8, we have the stunning Fisher FP303, an absolute classic that captures the hearts of true aviation craftsmen. Engineered in Canada, this aircraft completely turns its back on modern carbon fiber, utilizing a gorgeous geodetic wood construction instead. Powered by a modest 28 horsepower Rotax engine, It achieves incredible structural integrity using aircraft-grade spruce and plywood. It sparks an age-old debate in the comments: can wood actually be stronger than metal? When glued perfectly, this wooden lattice frame can withstand extreme flight forces. Immediately, you will realize its true strength. This aircraft is a visual masterpiece. It features a low-wing monoplane configuration with an open cockpit that places the pilot right at the center of gravity. When the late afternoon sun hits the translucent fabric covering, you can actually see the intricate honeycomb-like wooden structure inside the wings, glowing from within. In practice, this aircraft offers an incredibly smooth and forgiving flight profile. It flies with a gentle floating characteristic, perfect for low-altitude evening patrols over local farmlands, making it a favorite for older pilots valuing traditional hand-built craftsmanship. Constructing this aircraft is often compared to building a highly complex giant piece of fine furniture, incredibly intricate. Builders spend years meticulously gluing and clamping the wooden ribs together inside their local workshops. It is an aircraft that demands respect, not for blinding speed, but for the blood, sweat, and sawdust that went into its creation. But if building an airplane out of wood seems a little too old school for your blood, brace yourself. Right up next is a gleaming all-metal marvel that is roaring its way into our number 7 spot. Taking the number 7 spot is the phenomenal Hummel Ultracruiser, a machine that boldly defies the standard conventions of ultralight materials. While most aircraft rely on fabric and tubes to shave off ounces, the Ultracruiser is built entirely out of aircraft-grade sheet metal. Clearly, this is a massive difference, designed in America. This masterpiece utilizes thin but structurally rigid aluminum paired with a reliable 4-stroke half VW engine, generating roughly 35 horsepower. Against all odds, this fully riveted all-metal aircraft weighs exactly 249 pounds, comfortably meeting the FAA requirements. Visually, the Ultracruiser looks like a shrunken-down fighter plane, highly polished from World War II, gleaming aggressively in the sunlight. It features a sleek, low-wing design, a fully enclosed classic cowling, and a vintage-style open cockpit that screams classic aviation nostalgia. Because it is an all-metal build, it is the absolute go-to choice for pilots who live in harsher climates, where intense rain would quickly rot away standard fabric wings. You get the rugged feel of general aviation with the step-in ease of a backyard garage ultralight. The creation of this aircraft is tied to an incredible story of pure American grit. Designer Maury Hummel finalized this blueprint later in life after surviving a horrific aviation accident. Operating a rivet gun in your garage to build this machine gives you ultimate mechanical satisfaction, resulting in an aircraft that will outlive its builder. But if this polished metal cruiser feels a bit too refined for your taste, the next aircraft brings a heavy dose of rugged off-road brutality directly to the open skies. Blasting into the number 6 spot is the legendary Belite Ultralight, an American icon, acting as the heavy-duty Jeep of the Part 103 world. Evolving from the Kit Fox Light, it was engineered in Kansas to offer the indestructible feel of a real backcountry bush plane, equipped with engines ranging around 40 horsepower. This aircraft utilizes carbon fiber spars and advanced lightweight aluminum to maintain an incredibly strong airframe. It easily meets the 254-pound limit, while aggressively challenging the idea that ultralights are fragile toys. To the untrained eye, the B-Light looks like a standard rugged backcountry airplane, complete with a fully enclosed cockpit, massive high-lift wings, and classic tailwheel landing gear. It features massive tundra tires, designed specifically to absorb brutal impacts on unpaved surfaces. This machine is used practically for extreme short takeoff operations, allowing adventurous older pilots to safely take off from rough dirt roads, gravel bars, and bumpy farm fields. Standard airplanes would instantly destroy their landing gear, trying to land where the Belite Ultralight thrives every single day. The B-Light is famous for its jaw-dropping capabilities. Indeed, viral videos show this lightweight beast taking off in less than 100 feet against a stiff headwind, roaring into the sky like a rocket. It has achieved legendary status among off-grid farmers, who treat it like an airborne all-terrain vehicle for property surveillance, relying on its bulletproof safety frame. But if this rugged backcountry brawler already seems wild, wait until you see the historical open-cockpit warbird stepping up next to fulfill your ultimate vintage combat fantasies. At number 5, we step straight into a time machine with the Airdrome Fokker D8, a breathtaking modern reproduction of a legendary World War I fighter plane produced by Airdrome Aeroplanes in the US. This 3/4 scale replica is meticulously engineered using aviation aluminum tubing to legally meet FAA ultralight weight regulations. Powered by an ultra-reliable 45 horsepower Volkswagen-based engine, it perfectly mimics the visceral flight characteristics of early aviation. It brilliantly adapts 100-year-old combat blueprints to modern legal loopholes for the everyday garage hobbyist. The visual impact of this Fokker is absolutely jaw-dropping on the runway. Now it features a parasol wing design, meaning the massive single wing sits high above the fuselage, supported by thick, menacing struts. Painted in authentic military camouflage, sitting in its open cockpit feels exactly like strapping in for a dogfight over Europe, while you will not be using this for actual combat. Its real-world application lies in historical reenactments and weekend air shows, giving older pilots the ultimate nostalgia trip, wind in your hair, safely back in time. An incredible mechanical fact about this Airdrome replica is that despite looking like a heavy, intimidating warbird, the entire airframe is so perfectly balanced that 2 grown men can literally pick it up by the tail. It allows history buffs to live out their Red Baron fantasies on a working man's budget, bypassing the million-dollar price tags of real antique aircraft. But if you think flying a vintage warbird is a radical idea, the next machine strips away the vintage charm for pure, unadulterated modern speed. Charging aggressively into the number 4 slot is the Phantom X1, an absolute adrenaline rush of an ultralight that has been tearing up the skies since the 1980s, manufactured in the United States. This aircraft was engineered to maximize durability and sheer performance within the strict confines of Part 103. It is typically powered by a screaming 40-horsepower Rotax 2-stroke engine bolted directly to a rigid aluminum tube airframe. With a cruise speed pushing 55 miles per hour, it is undeniably an airborne sports car. The Phantom X1 looks fast and dangerous even when it is sitting perfectly still on the grass. It features a completely open cockpit, where the pilot sits straddling the main fuselage tube, surrounded by an aggressive swept-back wing design and a massive rear pusher propeller. It is built for pure recreational thrill-seeking, used by veteran pilots who want to perform sharp banks and aggressive climbs. There are no doors and no heating. It is just you, a racing harness, and the overwhelming roar of the engine. The most legendary aspect of the Phantom X1 is its incredible survival through decades of shifting aviation trends. It is widely considered one of the toughest, most indestructible ultralight frames ever designed by human hands. Many original models built in garages back in the 80s are still being aggressively flown today, proving that simple, over-engineered mechanics will always outlast complex modern electronics. But if this airborne sports car pushes your adrenaline to the limit, the next all-metal marvel will completely change how you view aerodynamic physics. Breaking into our top 3 is the mind-bending Aviomania Genesis G1S. Clearly, this is an engineering marvel that ditches fixed wings entirely in favor of gyroplane physics. Designed in Cyprus but highly popular in the US, it utilizes a free-spinning overhead rotor to generate lift, while a rear-mounted engine pushes 45 horsepower to propel the craft forward. Weighing exactly 250 pounds, Its technical specifications are a masterclass in balance. Because the main rotor is spun purely by the rushing wind, this machine simply cannot stall like a normal airplane. When you look at the Genesis G1S, you are essentially staring at a high-speed, futuristic flying motorcycle. The pilot sits completely exposed in a sleek composite seat, with massive whistling rotor blades towering overhead and a compact tail section trailing behind. This aircraft is widely used by rural landowners for quick aerial surveys of massive properties, easily handling rough air that would toss standard ultralights around. You physically steer it like a chopper, banking hard into turns while the rushing air violently spins the overhead blades. A brilliant piece of mechanical reality surrounding the Genesis G1OS is its legendary reputation for slicing through heavy crosswinds, turbulent air that would instantly ground every other aircraft we have talked about. Flight instructors constantly praise its rugged frame and use its underlying mechanics to demonstrate the raw, life-saving physics of auto-rotation to new students. But if you think a flying motorcycle is the most extreme way to travel, wait until you see the microscopic vertical takeoff machine coming up next to challenge everything you know about helicopters. Taking the runner-up position at number 2 is the absolutely terrifying and brilliant Miracopter SCH-2A. Immediately, it redefines the very limits of aviation engineering, developed in Slovenia. This mechanical marvel is one of the world's lightest and most compact coaxial helicopters ever brought to market. It is powered by a lightweight Fiala engine that delivers 60 horsepower to drive 2 massive counter-rotating main rotors. By utilizing this coaxial design, it completely eliminates the heavy tail rotor, keeping its empty mass precisely at 249 pounds for legal flying. The appearance of the Miracopter is nothing short of pure science fiction. It is essentially an aluminum pilot seat bolted directly beneath a complex mechanical mast, exposed gears and dual spinning blades. There are no doors, no windshield, and absolutely nothing separating the pilot from the dizzying drop below. This extreme machine is utilized strictly for fair-weather recreational flying, allowing pilots to perform vertical takeoffs directly out of their driveways. It is the ultimate machine for the die-hard mechanic, wanting a pure, untamed helicopter experience without commercial flight school. Despite its fragile and skeletal appearance, this aircraft has drawn immense attention at international aviation shows, where seasoned mechanics gather in disbelief to watch this tiny frame lift a full-grown adult straight into the sky. It holds an unofficial reputation as the ultimate garage helicopter, proving that complex heavy-duty coaxial engineering can be safely downsized for the average hobbyist with a wrench. But if this vertical flyer seems like the absolute limit of crazy aviation, brace yourself, because our number 1 spot looks like it flew straight out of a comic book. Taking the ultimate number 1 spot is the legendary, bizarre, and utterly unforgettable pterodactyl ascender. Clearly, this is the absolute wildcard machine that practically kick-started the modern ultralight movement during the fuel crisis of the 1970s, engineered in California. This aircraft features a radical swept-wing tailless design that completely eliminated the standard fuselage in favor of pure aerodynamic chaos. Powered by a deafening 2-stroke engine pushing around 40 horsepower, it utilized weight shift controls to achieve flight, proving to the world that you did not need a traditional airplane shape to conquer skies. The visual description of this machine is where things get truly extreme. It literally looks like a giant mechanical pterodactyl made of aluminum tubes soaring through the sky. Now the pilot sits completely exposed in a hanging buggy seat beneath a massive swept-back wing, with no traditional tail section in sight. Instead, a massive rear-pusher propeller aggressively drives the aircraft forward, while the pilot steers using wild motions of a control bar. It is used primarily by extreme adrenaline junkies who want a raw, visceral flight experience, flying roughly 45 miles per hour. The stories surrounding the pterodactyl ascender are absolute grassroots aviation gold in the early days. Renegade pilots would literally fold this aircraft up, strap it to the roof of a station wagon, drive to a dirt road, unbolt it with basic hand tools, and be airborne in 20 minutes. It was the ultimate symbol of American aviation anarchy. A tailless creature proving anyone with a garage and enough guts could build their own wings. It remains the most extreme, bizarre, and historically significant ultralight anyone can legally fly, sitting proudly at the top. These incredible machines are not just quirky recreational toys. They represent the ultimate freedom of aviation, the brilliant spirit of garage engineering, and the enduring legacy of the 1970s grassroots movement. They all had one thing in common: providing creative solutions to the age-old dream of personal flight without the barrier of a pilot's license. Which one did you find strangest? Which would you want to build in your own garage? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to catch the next flight.